Hello, and welcome to the Digital Transformation course that covers virtual and augmented reality. This lesson aims to introduce some of the key elements of those technologies and concepts. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain what virtual reality and augmented reality are, discuss how VR and AR are used in different industries and applications, outline the future of VR and AR. Let's briefly and gently introduce you to virtual reality and augmented reality, because you might be in for a shock. Tesla suit is probably the most sophisticated example of virtual reality gears. It's the first full-body suit that enhances virtual and augmented reality experiences by synergizing four elements: haptics, temperature control, biometric feedback, and motion tracking. Haptics provides an immersive VR experience by allowing you to feel the subtlest of sensations and changes in physical conditions as though you lived them. Temperature control allows you to recreate a range of hot and cold physical environments. Biometric feedback documents bodily responses to physical environments and psychological conditions. Motion tracking helps record expert movements in a virtual environment to facilitate training. These technologies are changing the way training is provided for diverse enterprise requirements. And so you're definitely going to see their impact in all facets of your life. So let's take a closer look at VR. Virtual reality is an experience in a simulated and immersive environment that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. Applications of virtual reality are found in defense, entertainment, and education, but as we'll see, the virtual world is your oyster. There are almost limitless possibilities. As is often the case, new technologies are introduced through games. Microsoft introduced Flight Simulator in 1982. At the time, this was the closest to virtual reality you could get. It stretched the limits of computer capabilities and was often used as a benchmark for judging the capability of personal computers. The goal of Flight Simulator was to replicate and recreate an immersive experience of flying planes. However, we've come a long way from those days. Today, if you want the experience of flying an A380 from New York to Paris, you can do it using VR, as shown in this video. So that was VR for you. Augmented reality, on the other hand, is an interactive experience of a real-world environment in which objects from the real world are enhanced by computer-generated perceptual information, sometimes across multiple sensory modalities, including visual, auditory, haptic, somatosensory, and olfactory. The somatosensory system is that part of the sensory system concerned with the conscious perception of touch, pressure, pain, temperature, position, movement, and vibration, which arise from the muscles, joints, and skin. This system is particularly essential to creating a truly immersive experience. Pokemon Go took the world by storm in July 2016. The mobile phone game creates an augmented reality experience. Players can explore the real world while chasing little critters in the augmented world. In a way, this game served the same purpose that Minesweeper did in 1990, when Microsoft introduced it to get users accustomed to a new technology. Minesweeper helped people get accustomed to the mouse. Pokemon Go to augmented reality. There are plenty of examples of AR and VR in the gaming, entertainment, military, and art sectors. Our interest is in the applications of these technologies in business environments as enablers of creativity, how they're re-engineering tasks and processes and uncovering new opportunities. But before we do that, let's understand the differences between VR and AR. Think of VR as fictional storytelling and AR as the real world with enhancements. But it's not that black and white. Virtual reality might be 75% virtual and 25% real, while augmented reality is the opposite. In both these technologies, the real and fiction are mixed in different degrees. Therefore, virtual reality aims to bring you into a fully immersive environment in which you may experience what psychologists call a state of flow, whereas augmented reality is partially immersive and lets users interact with real-world objects. These differences can be made more prominent by exploring a couple of virtual and augmented reality examples. AR and VR are used across industries. The examples we discuss may help you discover how you can use these technologies in your own organization or industry. We will be delighted if one of these examples can spark a brilliant idea in your mind. We've already seen that there are plenty of uses for VR and AR in the gaming and training industry. But you don't have to be a gamer to experience AR. It is closer to you than you imagined. You can experience AR every day through your consumer-focused apps on your mobile. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of apps on iOS and Android to do just about anything. Do you want to redecorate a room? Or repaint it? Move the furniture around? Or rather, take measurements? Well, there are apps for that too. These apps target amateurs who like to do it all by themselves, but some are actually quite powerful and are used by professionals too. A good example is of the popular home improvement app Houzz. Houzz upgraded its View in My Room 3D tool with AR capabilities. Users can get more details after dropping objects selected from the app's library of 500,000 products into their living spaces. Even the lighting can be adjusted. And of course, you can quite simply and conveniently buy those items using the app. As you can imagine, augmented reality apps are often a marketing vehicle for different brands. Be it a large retail store showcasing a virtual, fully decorated room, or selling clothing or expensive jewelry. Or a car manufacturer demonstrating the prowess of their latest model. Augmented reality has been used for marketing, often without any technological requirement on the part of the user. This was illustrated in the Pepsi Max bus shelter stunt in 2014. Another example is the recent and shocking road safety awareness campaign, which ran in Montreal, Canada. You might remember when you were a kid, maybe you got your hands on one of those cool magazines, maybe National Geographic or Popular Science, which came with a pair of cardboard glasses. One side was blue and the other red, which allowed you to see images in 3D. Later came holograms. Today, AR is used in traditional newspapers and magazines to augment reader experience. And of course, create innovative modes of advertising. On TV, the Weather Channel made a splash, literally, when they used augmented reality to demonstrate the impact of Hurricane Florence.
we can show you what this could look like if you were to find yourself in this scenario. Once that water comes up to 3 feet, you can see it would be coming up my shins up towards my waist. This could be enough to knock you off your feet. It could even float some cars that could be parked on the side of the roadway. This is extremely dangerous, but once we get up into that 6-foot range, look at how high this water goes. Winds pick everything up. Cars would be floating at this point. This water's over my head. I wouldn't be able to stand here, even withstand the force of the water coming in. There might even be dangers like chemicals and exposed power lines lurking in the waters. But once we get to that 9-foot range, this is an absolute life-threatening scenario. This water is through the first floor of your home into the second. You can see there's fish floating around in here. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. So if you find yourself here, please get out. If you're told to go, you need to go. Listen to those local officials and make sure you heed the advice if told to do so.
Again, there's an app for anything and everything these days. Can you translate text that is in a language you don't understand? Yes, you can. Google Translate isn't strictly an AR app, but it does have one AR feature that's incredibly useful in translating text. You can use your phone camera to capture text that you don't understand, and the app will translate the text in real time. The best technologies are those which are ubiquitous, even if what's happening behind their scenes is complex. Google Maps now has an AR mode that allows users to get directions to any place they want to go by simply holding up their phones. The award-winning Gatwick Airport app uses 2,000 navigation beacons to help you find your way in the immense airport and tell you what procedures to complete along the way. Speaking of directions in AR, we can find good examples of passive AR in the tourism industry. Imagine easily spotting sightseeing attractions along with additional relevant information, local transit information, or any other relevant item of interest overlaid on your mobile phone screen just by holding it in front of something. Using augmented reality, RYOT, a next-generation motion picture studio, recreated Paris' renowned Louvre Museum at a warehouse in Los Angeles. This allowed kids in LA to explore art and learn all about it using a tablet or a mobile device.
What do you guys think?
Where's the art?
So what if we told you guys there was artwork just sitting here, hidden right before your eyes? Hey, you wanna hold it?
That's the magic. That's what you were expecting.
Pull up this picture.
VR is also incredibly useful for businesses. For example, think about the opportunity to train employees without the risks of accidents, slowing down productivity, or breaking something. Virtual reality can be used to enhance occupational safety by recreating realistic scenarios that are far less dangerous. From an engineering perspective, it is possible to virtually create a part or a whole prototype and put it to test before the real product is created. The use of virtual technology allows designers and engineers to see, assess, and modify a considerable number of variants. A truly immersive environment needs to capture all our senses and movements. Motion tracking and the somatosensory system we discussed makes this possible. We can now create such immersive experiences in a room-sized cube called the Cave, which stands for Cave Automatic Virtual Environment. Virtual and augmented reality are used extensively in healthcare too, be it for medical training or patient treatment. A simple augmented reality tool reveals blood streams, facilitates the identification of potential issues, and makes it easy to find the best spot to draw some blood from. Research conducted by the University of Texas is clear. Practice in virtual reality environments helps improve performance in real-world scenarios. As you can see in their findings, only 6 trials are sufficient to significantly improve advanced needle driving. This is all great, but there are a few downsides too. Texting and driving is obviously dangerous, and we've seen several cases of zombie walking. People are so immersed in their augmented realities that they become oblivious to the real world around them and also to the risks therein. These technologies also raise new privacy and ethical risks as they rely heavily on data. For example, a non-profit organization targeted a campaign at kids to raise funds from their parents. In the campaign, temporary tattoos were brought to life using Facebook's AR technology. The gimmick was extremely popular among kids. Having said that, targeting young minds raised ethical concerns, as most parents viewed it as an invasion of their privacy. It's ironic that VR and AR can be used to improve training and safety, while they can also cause safety risks. If texting and driving is dangerous, imagine having zombies immersed in their virtual worlds walking around town. Wouldn't that be a bigger cause for concern? A quick search will lead you to plenty of funny and shocking videos of people losing balance and falling down while using virtual reality equipment. In fact, about 1 in 4,000 may have severe dizziness, seizures, or blackouts while using these technologies. And finally, of course, as with any new technology, there's always the risk of organizations falling for the new shiny object, spending a lot of resources on it and getting very little in return, or creating little to no impact whatsoever. So, what does the future hold for VR and AR? Let's take a look. VR and AR are removing barriers to creativity. It is allowing us to rethink solutions to existing problems and imagine totally new possibilities to grab a greater share of attention than what traditional marketing did. These technologies will continue to impact training, re-engineer processes, and attenuate and eliminate risks. It's interesting to note that AR applications have more potential than VR applications, even though research on VR has been going on for over 30 years. This is because VR is costly and complex, whereas augmented reality has become mainstream very quickly thanks to smartphones and headsets. Even a basic cardboard setup in your mobile phone can allow you to experience augmented reality. There's no doubt these technologies will continue to evolve. AR glasses have the potential to replace the smartphone within the next 10 to 15 years. Designed to be unobtrusive, AR devices will allow us to interact intuitively with virtual objects using all our senses like smell and taste, and abilities like movement and balance. Even ultrasound may be used to stimulate nerves in our brain or vertebrae or trigger senses by surgically placing implants in the brain. The possibilities are endless. For now, however, some industries might be less suited for VR and AR. For example, think about FMCG. AR and VR can only be used for marketing purposes and nothing much. It's hard to imagine other uses. But maybe this will change when someone stumbles upon an idea. We don't know. What we do know is that AR and VR won't just make use of our visual faculties. It will use all our senses, as the Tesla suit example demonstrated. Heavy gamers will likely be the first to use these advanced technologies before it is introduced to the broader audience. Data science and artificial intelligence will also play a significant role in this evolution. They will create self-learning systems and virtual environments to make AR and VR more efficient. Now let's summarize what you have learned. Virtual reality is an experience taking place in a simulated and immersive environment that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. Augmented reality is an interactive experience of a real-world environment where objects are enhanced by computer-generated perceptual information. The technologies supporting AR and VR have evolved very quickly over the past few years and can be put to many uses. There are many benefits of using VR and AR, such as stimulating creativity, training, risk attenuation, and process re-engineering. But there are also risks to health, privacy, and safety.